So in this week's success series, we're going to be talking about how you know college is for you. So I knew college was for me because my mom didn't give me a choice. So that's how I knew. No, but really though, I knew college was for me because I have always been, it's always been instilled in me that education is so important. Especially being a young African American female, like education is so important. Education is not everything, but it can get you a lot further, especially with, like I said, being a young African American female. Like I said, college wasn't really an option. I always knew I was going to go to college. My mom has her PhD. My dad has his master's. Like, I always knew that I was going to college. It wasn't like, oh, maybe I'll go to college. Maybe I'll start off at a junior college. I always knew I was going to college. I never had a doubt in my mind that I wanted to go to college, even though my parents said, like, you need to go to college. I never had a doubt in my mind that I was going to go to college and I was going to make something of myself, because I've always wanted to be a role model for my peers, and I always wanted to be successful like my parents. So I just knew I was going to go. But that's not everybody's story, and I understand that. So how you know if you should go to college? Number one, try it out. You know, some people start off at junior college, which is nothing wrong with that. Starting off at junior college just kind of means that, you know, you get your associate's degree first, and sometimes depending on the job that you want to have after college, it only requires you to have an associate's degree, which is fine. But even if you just have an associate's degree, you should still strive to get a bachelor's, to strive to get a master's and a PhD. In fact, I have my master's degree. Now, getting my master's degree was an option. That was not like I knew I wanted to get my master's. In fact, in undergrad, I said I was done with school. I was never going back to school again. I was so over it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. But, of course, me being this success-driven person, I said, you know what? You might as well apply. What do you have to lose? So I applied on rolling admissions at that, because I did not want to go to get my master's degree, because I just was over school. I was sick of taking tests. I was sick of waking up. I was sick of waking up early for class. I was sick of everything school related. I did not want to be on anybody's campus studying anything else ever again. But I just decided, you know what? Go for it. Why not? Because in the long run, it could help you out. And I didn't want to go back to school and get my master's when I was in my 30s. I figured, why not do it now? I just graduated from undergrad. Just go ahead and continue to do it. So that's what I did. I got my master's degree, and now I'm living my best life. So knowing that you should go to college is not always something that people instill in their children, because some people's parents, like some of my friends' parents, they didn't go to college. And so they're like, oh, why do I need to go to college when my parents didn't go to college? But I always feel like you should try to be one step better than your parents, because they can teach you everything that they know as far as like what mistakes they made growing up, what things they did well growing up. So why not try to be one step better than them? Why not try to be like, okay, these are the mistakes that they made. I don't want to make those mistakes. Let me do one step better than them. And your parents should essentially want that for you, They should want you to be better than them, because you are their child. You are their offspring. They're trying to instill all these things inside of you to help you say, like, you know what? This is going to be my best life ever. You only get one, so let me make this the best life ever. And if you do it right, you only need one. I think knowing that you want to go to college is the first step of actually getting there. So just to say, you know what? I'm graduating high school. It's time to go to college. That's the first step of knowing that you should be in college. The second step of knowing that you should be there is actually figuring out what school fits you. Just because your friends are going to a Big Ten university doesn't mean that that's for you. You might be a private school type of person. You might be a junior college type of person. You might not be the person who wants to go live on campus. You might want to commute. That's your journey, and nobody should be able to tell you how your journey should go. So make sure that when you're looking at colleges, one of the things that you look at is which school is best for me. So for me, I went to Michigan State. I knew I wanted to go to a big school. I didn't really go to that big of a high school, but I just knew that I wanted to be surrounded by a lot of people, and I wanted to have a diverse culture. I didn't really want to go to a HBCU. At one point, I did consider it. I got accepted to Spelman and Clark Atlanta, but I didn't really want to go to Spelman because I didn't want to go to an all-girls school. But again, that's my journey. Like, I didn't want that to be my journey, so I didn't go there. In Clark, Atlanta, when I first started off in college, I was a totally different major than I wound up graduating with my degree in. So that would be another story for you all later. But Clark, Atlanta was my second choice of schools, and then Michigan State was my third choice. So went to Michigan State, and for me, best experience ever. And literally the experience that you have in college, you'll never get those years back. So you need to make sure that the school that you choose is a school that you're going to want to be at for 4 to 5 years. Because if you're miserable year one, you're probably going to stay miserable. And who wants to be in college miserable when these are supposed to be the best years of your life? So pick a school that's going to be good for you and you alone. Not a school that's going to be good for you, your friends, your cousins, your mom. You know, it's easy for mom to get to. It's easy for you to go home every weekend. They have planes, cars, buses, trains. All that stuff is so that you can go home on the weekends or go home once a month so you can see your family. Don't let your family hinder you from going out and being successful. I know a lot of people who said, I'm not going far away to go to school because I don't want to leave my family. Now, granted, Michigan State was only about 3.5 hours from Chicago. I was not going to just go to any school just because I wanted to be that close to home, because I just knew if I wanted to go home, like, I would find a way to get home. Like, that was never an issue for me. So I think a lot of people, they find themselves miserable at school and they don't understand why. But if you really start thinking about the nitty gritty and start thinking about why you're even at that school in the first place, then you'll probably be like, oh, just clicked in my head, I never wanted to come here in the first place. So that could be one reason why you're not being happy at school. Another thing for me, as far as like knowing I wanted to go to college, at one point I wanted to be like Oprah. Don't really know if that's a dream of mine. I can't really decide right now. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, but I know that Oprah had to go through a lot of things when she was growing up. And so I wanted to be able to be as educated as possible because, like I said, education is not the only thing that can get you far in life, but it is very important. I feel like people take me a lot more serious at my age because of my education. Like, I'm 24 with a master's degree. Not a lot of people can say that. So one thing I noticed that when I go places, that's something I bring up. Like, yeah, hi, I'm Alexis. Pretty much dropping my credentials out on the table because people look at me and say like, oh, who's this girl? Like, no, I am that girl. So that's the kind of confidence that you need to have. And your education is something that will never leave you. You'll always have that degree. You'll always have that background of schooling behind you. So that's something that I think is very important. And some people, they don't want to take that route. Some people want to be entrepreneurs. But if you think about it, those entrepreneurs need a business plan. People who make business plans for entrepreneurs are more than likely college educated people. They probably went to school for business. They probably went to school for marketing, finance, accounting. Whatever the case is, somewhere down the line, someone went to school and someone had to say, hey, I need to know how to do this so that other people can pay me for it. So that needs to be your goal. In college, I met a lot of great people, but didn't finish with everybody I started with. Let's just say that. So I have a few friends from college that we're not close, but we're kind of like associates, you know, follow each other on social media. I kind of know what's going on in their life because of social media. The same, they know what's going on in my life because of social media. But some of those same people that I started with, we didn't all finish together. Some of us did 4 years. I myself did 5 years. Some people did 5.5. Like, everybody's journey is different. So if you see your friends start getting their degree in less time than you, don't let that stop you from being great, because in the end, that's their journey. That's their walk of life. Just because their walk is different than yours does not mean that yours is not right. And I think that's what people struggle with, because they see their friends doing great things and they're just like, when am I going to be great? When am I going to do great things? You're doing something great right now. The fact that you're in college is great. Not a lot of people can say that they got to even accepted into the college that they wanted to. I know I didn't get accepted into the college that I wanted to get accepted into. And for a long time, like, that bothered me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna make the best of it. I really wanted to go to University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, which is where my mom went. I wanted to go there so bad, and I got deferred to like kind of like their junior college, so it's in Springfield, and they told me I could transfer in once I got my grades up. And in high school, I had like a 3.6 GPA. So I'm like, what do you mean transfer in? Like my GPA is already good. So that kind of like devastated me, but I took it for what it was. And now looking back, I wouldn't have changed anything about it because I got 2 degrees from Michigan State. Didn't need U of I at all, so forget them. Anyways, just know that your journey may look different from other people's journey, and that is okay. But on the same token, have people in your life whose journey is gonna look similar to yours, meaning that those people are gonna finish college. Don't have people in your corner that are like, I don't really want to be in college. I just came here to say I'm in college. I just came here to party. I just came here because my mom told me to come here, but I'm not really gonna finish. They're just there just to say they're there. Those people are good to have as friends if you want to go to a party, but eventually that gets old and you're gonna still be stuck with them while they're still trying to get their degree, and you're gonna be moving on with your life. And who has time for that? You don't have time to waste. You have things to do. You have to be successful. That's something to do. Being successful is something to do. So make sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to study with you, who are going to go to study groups with you, who are going to be like-minded with you, because that will help you get through college. And so knowing that you want to go to college is the first part. But getting through college is a whole different process in itself. And if you don't have people who are like-minded surrounding you and that are in your corner, you will not make it. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, but just know that going through college alone is very difficult. When I first got to Michigan State, I didn't know anybody. Like, I think one girl from my high school went there, but we weren't really friends in high school, so I pretty much didn't know anybody. And so for the first few months, I kind of met people and I was getting closer to these people, but I still felt like I was by myself because I didn't know them like that, and they weren't like my friends from high school. So me finally getting to know these people and them being in my corner made college a little bit easier for me, because I would get homesick a lot, and I would just call home. Like my freshman year, I think I went home maybe like 3 to 4 times a month. I would be home every weekend hanging out with my friends from high school because I just hated being at school because I was by myself. I think it was the summer of my freshman year when I met some friends that lived in my dorm, and I think I started going home like once every like 2 months because I had finally made friends. Just know that you're gonna be great, you're gonna be fine, but also know that going to college can help you in the long run, because like me, a lot of times people find out that I have a master's degree, they start asking questions like, so where did you go to school? So what is your master's degree in? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, now you want to talk to me. Now you want to know who I really am. So take it as a grain of salt. Don't let it offend you. Just let it be a way to bring your A game to every conversation. Thanks again for watching my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email me, comment below, like, subscribe, and make sure you check out our blog post for the week. See you soon.